everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my January budget recap for you. So I've already kind of pulled all my numbers together. We're just going to talk through them. There is a little bit of math we're going to do. We're going to color in some trackers. So I will leave a few different timestamps down below if you want to jump around, but let's go ahead and dive into it. My first budget recap of 2022. Let me tell you, January was a little rough for me. I'm not super happy with how it went, but you know, that's the nice thing about monthly budgeting is February gives me a fresh start. So let's start here. This is my budget sheet. So I previously did a video for my January budget where we filled out this first column together. I can link that if you'd like to see it. So I've already filled in my actuals and the percentages, but before we go through that, I like to go through the back side of this page. I just document what I call my paycheck report. So this is all the money that came into my account, which is what I budget off of. I just budget off of what actually hits my bank account. So let's talk through these real quickly here. So the first two are my salary. You'll notice that these have December dates on them. I am a month ahead. So I use the previous month's paychecks. I get paid twice a month for my salary job towards the next month. It makes me feel a bit more secure. And it's just easier for me to have all that money, ready to go. So when I set up my budgets, I only budget off of these two checks together for the month. The rest of these are just like bonus or extras. So I do bank with Capital One online. They have, high interest savings account. It's a lot lower than it used to be, but still earned $1.58 from them. And then Wings is my credit union. That is where my mortgage is at. And I do earn interest there as well. So 52 cents there on a quarterly basis. So you can see it's not a high yield savings account, it's just their normal savings account, quite a difference that can be. Mr. Rebates is an online cashback website. I always have a link for that down below. It is a referral link. So you get whatever perk, and I get a perk too. It's similar to Rakuten. Mr. Rebates to me always has higher percentages though. I do always check Rakuten, which used to be Ebates, and Mr. Rebates when I'm ordering online, and just whoever has the higher percentage I go with. But to me, 9 times out of 10, it's Mr. Rebates. So that's just that. And I like it because I can choose when I get my check. So sometimes I let this build up, sometimes I cash it out, and I decided to cash it out in the beginning of January. Discover Cashback, $7.91. I do use credit cards in my daily life. Discover has a cashback system where it's 1% on everything. And then each quarter, there's a different category of 5%. So right now, the 5% category for the first quarter is groceries. So whenever I go grocery shopping, I use my Discover card to get 5% cash back instead of 1%. So in January, I was able to cash out $7.91. I expect February to be higher than that. That was very nice to have. I did get a check from YouTube or Google AdSense, 105.20. This is from December. So I did Vlogmas in December, and it was really fun. And I did end up reaching the $100 threshold that you need to meet before you can get a check from AdSense. So if you don't meet that $100 threshold, like in January, I earned $50 from YouTube. It just rolls over until you hit that $100. Betterment, $6.63. This is a investing platform. It's a robo-advisor. I really like it. So that's what I earned in interest and dividends, and I just have it set up to automatically reinvest, but still I like to track that. $4.45 from my boyfriend. We do split some things around the house. We don't really split bills, but we split the grocery shopping. When I do all the grocery shopping and then keep track of receipts. Occasionally he'll pick up a few things and, I just put that in a spreadsheet so he gets credit for it. But that he also splits the subscription services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Peacock, whatever. And then anything he asked me to buy. So a lot of times he won't shop online. In January, he wanted to get some more t-shirts, just plain Hanes t-shirts from Target. And I wanted to place an order for something already too. So we just combined our order, and I just figured out how much his t-shirts were and charged him kind of in the spreadsheet that I keep. So anyway, that is from him for just kind of his part of the different shared expenses there. And then $24.24 from Capital One cashback. This is 1.5% cashback card. So I do only use my Discover for that 5% category, and then 1.5% for the rest of my purchases here. So in total for January, $4,962.23. I do like it to calculate my active and passive income. So 89.97% of my total income was active. You would notice that from the A's and P's here. Active just means to me anyway that you have to like exchange significant effort or time into it. Whereas passive, you really don't have to do anything. Like you just get the money. So 10.03% passive, which is great. So now that we know how I got this total income, let's look at the budget versus the actual. So anywhere that you see a check mark means that my budget was the exact same. Anywhere that I have highlighted in green means that I have a positive. So for my bills, a positive thing was that my bill was lower. For my savings, a positive thing would be that I saved more, that kind of a thing. And then in parentheses is where my boyfriend's money all came out to. So let's go through these. Insurance down just a few cents. Phone significantly up. I was budgeting 84. It was actually 150. In November, at the very end, over the week of Thanksgiving, I was in Germany for vacation. And for my phone plan, it's $10 a day to use your phone internationally. And I was expecting this to drop in December and it didn't. So it actually came on my January check. So I wasn't sure when that was going to drop, but that's why I have my incidental fund down here to help cover those things. So no big deal there. Subscriptions, this is up a little bit. We're actually canceling one subscription and starting another one. So it's just kind of like a weird month there, but that'll even out in the end. Groceries, just almost $10 under budget. Still very happy with that. 500 is my budget. 490.20 is where I came out with. Gas, only spent 26.25, so that was great to have that lower. And then my spending is so high. Honestly, we ate out so much in January, like so much. I don't even know how to describe what happened. It's just like we just didn't cook. I don't know. We were another level of exhaustion came over both of us, and that's what happened is we just ate out because we didn't have the energy to cook. The 110.83 is from his Target purchase. Got socks and shirts and whatever. But yeah, wow, eating out really killed me this month. Oh well. So my total expense section was 67.5% of my total budget. Moving down to the funds, these are like my different savings categories. Most of these are up. The only thing to note, my incidental, I had to move around a little bit to help cover the phone and also to cover the car here. 64.40 instead of 50. I had a chip in my windshield, so I had that replaced, and it was actually fully covered by my car insurance, so I didn't have to pay for that. But I did, one of the options was to have your wiper blades replaced, and my car, they're really, really hard to replace. So I figured, well, since I have someone there, working on my car, I might as well just get new blades. So I did that. And that's where that charge came from. But glad I have a car category now because I previously did not. And then, because I had some different changes in here and the spending was out of control, my budgeted emergency fund was a little off here. I'm actually pretty surprised that it was this close, but I definitely would have loved to have seen it even higher than when I budgeted instead of lower. But still 14% of my total income went to my emergency fund, just shy of 30% of all of my savings here. So lastly, here we have the investing section. These are only up because of the earned dividends and interest and all that, but I still like to document it. 2.65% of my total income towards post-tax investing. Like I have a 401k, I have an HSA that aren't on this list because they come out of my check automatically. So that is how I spent my money in January. Let's bring a few other things in here. So next I want to talk through my sinking funds. I have kind of changed the list that I'm going to be sharing just to make it a little bit more impactful, the things that, I don't know, are less boring, I suppose. So the first one, annual. This month I did have the Sweat app come out. I pay for an annual subscription instead of a monthly because it's a little bit cheaper. So it was $129.02. That's how I do my workouts. So I don't have a gym membership. I just have equipment at home and use this app to guide me through workouts. And I really like that. Beauty, I did need to buy a couple of replacement items. I will have a low buy update here in a couple of days talking through those things, but just a couple of replacements. And then home, I don't know, we just needed things. So one thing that we didn't really need, but I chose to get were some spice jars. We had like packets of spices, like in the little plastic sachets or whatever. in our cabinet, and I was tired of them falling over and spilling, and they're just open to the air, so I didn't feel like they were even staying fresh. So I bought some like glass spice jars off of Amazon so I can fill those with those spices and they preserve better. So anyway, I got that, just some toiletries and some home paper products like paper towels and toilet paper. So yeah, pretty standard month there for the home category. I always have something for the home I'm getting, whether it be laundry detergent or, medicine or paper, products, whatever it is. There's always something for the home is what I'm learning. So all in all, though, all of my funds are up, home being the same, ended at that $50 there. All right, so here I have my savings rate section. I like to calculate my savings rate every month. I calculate two different numbers. One includes my mortgage principal, one does not. So let's go ahead and go through these. We'll do the math together. So I have a few different variables here. A is going to be the change in basically my liquid money. So I take the total of all of my different bank accounts at the end of the month, and I subtract it from what my total was at the end of last month. I used to show you those numbers. For now, I'm just going to switch it to showing that change because I would like a little bit more privacy as I build up my emergency fund and some other things. So this month I had an extra $1286.63 in my account. So this much more than last month, basically. I like calculating this because it helps me with my different sinking funds. I'm always going to be having fluctuations because the point of a sinking fund is to save up for a little bit every month to help pay for a large expense. So sometimes this is negative and it's okay. That's like part of it. But it is helpful to know, okay, like on average, I have $1,000 more each month or whatever more each month in my bank account. Two here, my investments. So I have each kind of account here listed here, a column for what I contributed and what I earned. So my total was $619.15 between all of these different vehicles. C is that mortgage principal payment amount. So in January, I paid $358.20 to actually lower the balance of my mortgage. This is the variable I include in one formula, but not in the other. The last piece that you need to know about is the total income. So this is actually higher than the budgeted amount. Let's talk through that. So I have that take-home amount of $4962.23, but I include my 401k and my HSA in my investing section here and something that I'm considering saved. So I need to bring those numbers into my total income so that my ratio, my percentage is correct. So I just add in those totals here so that I can add the three together and have an accurate total income. This is going to be my denominator. All right, so let's do some math together. I've already written in the numbers that I need to calculate. We just need to, push the buttons. So let's do that here. So 1286.63, 619.15 plus 358.20 is, wow, $2,263.98. So I'm going to divide that by 5,449.75 and multiply by 100 to get a percentage. So 41.54% is my savings rate if I include that mortgage. So let's do it again, but we're just not going to include C, or the yellow piece here. We're just going to do A and B. So this is 1905.78 times 100. So 34.97%. I'd say that's pretty darn good. Right now my kind of overarching goal is to build up my emergency fund. So these are great numbers to be seeing. Certainly when I was paying off debt, my percentages were like 4%. 5% because I didn't include debt payoff in this calculation, just what I truly saved and held on to for my money. So really, really pleased to see such high numbers here. Okay, so we're going to look at the top half of my overview sheet here, just some things that we've already gone through. So we've already looked at my total income. 10.03% of my money was passive. I also calculated how much of it was non-salary. I think that's going to be interesting to see grow over time. So 602.71. Here I have the different categories of my budget and what the total percentages were. I like to see this kind of at a glance. I just filled in these savings rate numbers. A new number we haven't talked about yet is the emergency fund. So like I said, I am working towards building up my emergency fund, and I'm sharing the progress with you in percentages. So I'm 60.45% of the way to, my 100% goal, which is awesome. I do also calculate my net worth every month and look at the month over month change. So from December to January, my net worth grew 0.89%. Honestly, I'm just happy that's positive because the markets were not happy at the end of January. So that obviously will play an effect in your totals there. So I'm just happy it was positive. I was not expecting that at all. Here is my mortgage balance, 145, 323.81. Making good progress there. I have paid off 9.17% of my mortgage. My mortgage was originally $160,000, and I bought in April of 2018. So I do like to calculate the percentage owned. I do this based off my purchase price. If I were to take it off of the current estimated valuation from Redfin, it would be higher than this, but I just like to go off of the purchase price. So I own 27.33%, which is great. So with all that being said, let's go into some of the trackers and then we'll come back to do the goals and reflections at the end. Okay, so this is my retirement savings tracker here. So I have a box for every month. I started doing something like this towards the end of last year. So I just printed off a new one. One of the things that I learned on my journey, one of my friends on Instagram kind of brought this up, is you have to think about your retirement as your future self. And so you have to give that person a name. So my name is Maggie. It's actually Margaret, but I feel like I don't fit into that name. I'm not old enough yet. So I'm calling this Margaret's Money Worksheet just because it helps me personify what this money is going to, who's going to need it in the future. Anyway, that's just something that helps me remember what I'm trying to do here. So my 2022 goal is to save 15% of my gross salary. So I currently make $75,000 on a gross salary basis with my current job. So 15% would be $11,250. I have a variety of different, means and ways I can save this money. So let's talk through what I did in January. So I have a Roth 401k. And I should say this is my contribution goal, not a total account, or this doesn't include anything earnings, just total contributions from my end. Okay, Roth 401k, $187.50. Currently putting 3% of my paycheck there. $300 to my HSA. I do include my HSA because that's part of one of my strategies is to cash flow, medical expenses and let this build because of the tax advantages it has. And then I contributed $100 to my Roth IRA. Again, my primary goal right now is my emergency fund, but after I finish my emergency fund, I will be investing heavier in my retirement. So my January total was $587.50. So my 2022 total is the same because we're in January. And I have $10,662.50 to go to meet my goal. So down below, I have my little tracker section. So I have already marked my line of where I need to color to. So I'm just going to color that in here really quick. Okay, so that is the first tracker down. The next one is my emergency fund savings. So like I said before, I am sharing my progress in percentages with you. So I just made this up last year. And on the back here, I'm tracking the percentages. So I ended January at 60.45%. I ended December at 50.24%. So over 10% gain, which is awesome. So I'm going to color in the rest of this circle, and just a little sliver out of this circle down here too. Okay, so that is all filled in, which is really, really great. I can't wait to fill some more in next month. And the last tracker I have here is my mortgage amortization schedule. So if you don't know what this is, it's basically tracking your loan payoff. For me, it's a mortgage, but you can get one of these for, a car loan or a personal loan, whatever. And I fill in the amount that I put towards principal and interest every single month. So here is my interest column, my principal, my balance column. So what is printed is what I should have paid. I have been making one extra payment a year since I've had my mortgage. So from that very first payment, I put it a little bit extra towards my actual principal every month, and it's been snowballing on itself. So I'm currently 12 months ahead in my mortgage payoff journey, which is awesome. That's where I ended the, end of 2021 with December closeout. So here I have already written this in, and here's my new number, 145, 323.81. So what we need to do is cross off what I have surpassed. So I only highlight it if I've surpassed the number. So 145, 557 is definitely been surpassed with the 323 ending there. So I'm going to highlight this. And we're starting a new year. This is going to be my light blue year. I like to keep them all together. So green was 2021, light blue will be 2022. Okay, 145, 323 is not quite the same. 274. So I can only cross one line off today. Sometimes I get lucky and get to cross two off with that snowball happening there. But I'm definitely excited and happy to see that this one is crossed off. So that is the last tracker we have to go through. So let me bring it back to my overview sheet, but we are going to go down to the bottom to review my reflections and goals. So here I have my reflection section. I like to have positives and maybe some not so positives. So let's talk about the positives first. My gas was way under budget, which was great. It allowed me to kind of fluctuate the rest of my budget this month. I was also under my grocery category this month. Like I said, we did eat out quite a bit. And we also have our fish house out on the lake. So we've been just going out there to hang out and, fish every night, or not every night, but most nights. And that means that my booze went up. So I did have to go to the liquor store a couple times just because, we like to bring stuff out to the ice house with us. So that was also part of the grocery budget. It's not like that big of a deal, but it's just something I want to point out. And then I still also count it as a positive that I had a positive net worth change even with the market. So it wasn't that, big of a change, but it still was positive, and that was nice. A couple of cons: eating out a lot. Definitely need to improve in that category. February, I don't think that'll be as much of a problem. My boyfriend is going to be traveling again for work. He took most of January off. So, he won't even be home for most dinners during the week, which helps because my leftovers can spread a lot further with just me eating them instead of the both of us. So we shouldn't be eating out as much. And also a lot of last minute changes to the budget, just things fluctuating like that phone bill and having the car repair, just, I don't know, things happen, but that's okay. We're fluid, we're loose with it. These were my December goals. The first one was send $800 my emergency fund. I was even below $700, which is a shame. So I marked it in pink because I did not achieve that. I wanted to keep my expense section at 65% or less. It was actually 67.5%, so did not achieve that. I did reset some of my funds, so like my vacation, my gift fund, a few different ones I reset down to zero to start the year off again. So I did do that, and I also stayed within my grocery budget, which was fantastic. So the last piece here is to look at my February goals. So they are at the bottom here. I am going to change my kind of emergency fund goal to say I'd like to put an extra $50 toward my emergency fund. Some of that can be if I have any extra earned income. Maybe I'm just below in different budget categories and I can apply that money to the emergency fund, but that's going to be my goal, is an extra $50. I would like my expenses to be at 62% or less, being that January is so high. I'd like to really rein it in for February. And February is a shorter month, so I just feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. 3, celebrate Valentine's Day for $50 or less. I am going to be cooking at home for Valentine's Day. My boyfriend and I kind of alternate years of who's planning Valentine's Day. So he did last year, so I'm going to plan this year, and I already know what I would like to make. So I probably will just need a few special ingredients for that. I'll probably get a bottle of wine, and we should be within, honestly, it could be like $30, but I'm just going to say $50 or less for the goal. The last one is to reach 70% in my emergency fund completion. So I closed out January at 60.45%. So just shy of 10% growth is what I'd like to shoot for. I really would love to get my emergency fund wrapped up as soon as possible. It's not that it's not fun to save. It just kind of feels a little bit like a chore. because it just sits there. But it's very important for me anyway to feel like I have that emergency fund security. So it's just kind of a little boring. I've heard that before from other people who have paid off debt and they're just looking to invest or do other things with their money, and like saving the emergency fund isn't like, exciting or sexy or anything like that. So that's going to be the goal, 70%, and we'll see if I can get there or not. So that is my January overview, my recap, my closeout, whatever you want to call it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how January went for you. I felt like January, the month as a whole, flew by. But like, wow, my expenses were all over the place. So definitely reining that back into February, and we'll see where we go from there. But that's it for me. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.